Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APWSPORTS signing in, and we are at the last few weeks of this 2022 NFL season. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. It seems like this season has gone by rather quickly. We are already heading into week 16, and it just flew by. So we are at a point right now where we know where teams stand. There's still some spots to be fighting for as far as playoffs and things like that go, but it is time to give my power rankings heading into this week 16 of the season. And before I give my rankings, make sure you guys leave this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow and it beats the YouTube algorithm. And if you are one of the people that are watching this and they are not subbed, go ahead and click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But without further ado, let's dive into it. All right, first we're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals with the loss of the Denver Broncos. This team, Kyler Murray injury hurts them a lot, and I've always said, and I'm continuing to say, I wasn't a believer in this team coming into the season, and they proved me to be right on that end. So I'm going to have the Arizona Cardinals at a D. Next is the Atlanta Falcons coming off of a loss to the Saints. I'm only going to put them at a C because miraculously they are still alive in that horrid NFC South division, but with Desmond Ridder at quarterback, it's almost like the Falcons kind of, I want to say gave up, but kind of put their hopes down as far as playoff contention and all that goes. So I'm going to put the Falcons at a C. Next is the Baltimore Ravens. Ooh, this one's going to be tough. Coming off of a game where they couldn't do anything against Cleveland. I'm going to leave him at an A. I'm going to leave him at an A, mainly because Lamar Jackson was out, and that offense changes dramatically when Lamar Jackson is playing versus when he's not. I still believe in their defense. They've done some things defensively. It's just offensively, they have a lot of receivers hurt. Bateman, Perryman. They have some receivers that are hurt, and I just don't believe this football team is out of it yet, and they won't be out of it. It's just they got to find ways to close games, and offensively, without Lamar, they don't look good at all. Next is the Buffalo Bills. I'm still going to have them at an S tier. I still believe they're one of the more complete teams in football, and they're beating the Miami Dolphins, which is not a slouch at all. Josh Allen is starting to play back a little bit to the MVP level, and that defense has still been productive. And offensively, they need a little bit of a running game, but I still believe they're a very complete football team. Next is the Panthers. I'm going to move the Panthers up to a C. It seems like with Sam Darnold, something about this team has looked completely different versus P.J. Walker and Baker Mayfield that they've had earlier in the year. Offensively, they look a lot better with Sam Darnold versus any other quarterback. So I'm going to put them at a C. Next is my own team, my Chicago Bears. I'm going to have them at a D. Even though they've hung close, very, very close to a very good Eagles team, it's just they were out-talented, and the injuries are piling up on both sides of the football for the Bears. I'm not going to get deep into the Bears. We'll leave my link to the reaction in the cards, but they played a very good game, better than what I even expected, but I just think they were out-talented by the Eagles. Next is the Bengals. I'm putting the Bengals at an A, and I'm very close to putting the Bengals at an S. It's just they find ways to win football games, especially you're coming back against Tampa on the road. Joe Burrow is starting to play himself into the MVP candidacy. They're on a 6-game win streak. This Bengals team is hot, and it's starting to look like they're rolling just like they did late last season, which led them to a Super Bowl appearance. They are starting to look like a team that could possibly get themselves back to the Super Bowl. Just look out for them. Just look out. Cleveland, average to me, even though they looked somewhat better with Deshaun Watson, it's just that defense has been underwhelming all season long. They did have a good game against Baltimore, albeit without Lamar, but they've been so-so all season. Next, the Dallas Cowboys. This one's a little bit hard for me to grade. I'm going to put them at a B. Their last 2 wins was overtime against a 1-win Texas team, and they blew a 17-point lead against Jacksonville. Is the December slide happening? Maybe. Maybe happening in Dallas. Just watch out. Dak hasn't been playing well the past couple of games. Could they be on the slide? Who knows? Denver, D. They were without Russell Wilson. This team is just not very good at all. It's not a very good football team. Next is the Detroit Lions. I'm going to put the Lions at a B right now. They're offensively, they're looking better, and defensively, Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, has his defense playing well. I've always been a liking of what they've been building in Detroit. They are really fighting right now. They are putting themselves in that playoff hunt. We never would have thought this Lions team would be there. We knew they would be improved, but not like this. They are winning football games, starting to turn things around. Green Bay. I'm going to put Green Bay at a B for the moment. Looks like they're starting to win football games. They're starting to get a little things together, and this Green Bay Packers team is still alive in the playoff hunt. They're behind Detroit in the division, but they keep their playoff hopes alive with the win over the Rams on Monday night. Next, the Houston Texans are the Houston Texans. So, by default, I'm dropping them to a D, but they played the Kansas City Chiefs very, very tough. Indy, D. 33-0. 33-0. How do you lose a game 33-0? You're up 33-0 and you lose. The largest comeback in NFL history. Matt Ryan's been a part of 2 blown leads, 28-3, now 33-0. That's just crazy. Next is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to put Jacksonville at a B. No, you know what? I'm going to drop them to a C. Even though this team, they got a much-needed win to keep themselves alive in that horrible AFC South. It's weird, AFC South, NFC South, bad divisions. But they did enough to keep themselves alive, and they beat a Dallas Cowboys team that is a very good team. Next, Kansas City. I'm going to put the Kansas City Chiefs in an S tier. Patrick Mahomes looking himself like an MVP. Defensively, I've always had trepidation about their defense. I've always had some questions about them defensively, and it's starting to show. Offensively, we know they can roll with anybody. It's just I personally believe that their defense is eventually going to be their downfall. That's just me. Next is the LA Chargers. I'm going to put the LA Chargers. I'm going to put them in an A tier because they're starting to get the ball rolling a little bit. They're starting to click a little bit. And coming off of a much-needed victory in Tennessee, this team is starting to click late. You know they have a lot of injuries. Bosa probably could be back within the next week or two. But this team starting to get the ball rolling. Next is the LA Rams. Sorry, D. I'm sorry. This team is a D. I know they have a ton of injuries. Kupp, Stafford, Aaron Donald, Allen Robinson. This team has been bit by the injury bug a ton. And it's just unfortunate that they dropped that far. Next is the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to put the Las Vegas Raiders at a B. This might be crazy, but they're starting to get some things together. They're starting to keep themselves alive in that playoff hunt. It might be a little bit too late, but I'm going to put the Raiders at a B. Next, the Dolphins. They're on the 3-game losing streak. And this team, defensively, the woes are starting to show. Offensively, they're starting to turn the football over. So they haven't been playing up to that level, and Tua's kind of played himself out of the MVP conversation at this point. So I'm going to put them at A for now. Next is Minnesota. I'm going to put Minnesota at an A, but they had to come back from 33 to nothing to win that football game against the Colts team that has been well below average. And that Vikings team has been good pretty much all season. So I'm going to put them at an A. Justin Jefferson is otherworldly. Defensively, they got the things done in the second half as long as offensively, but to have to come back from 33 to nothing to win a game against a bad Colts team, I'm going to drop them to an A. Next, the New England Patriots. This is another team that is kind of average, and that last play was just funny. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. One of the craziest endings to a football game I have ever seen. With Jacoby Myers to throw it right to Chandler Jones. That was comedy and also crazy. That this team has played themselves out of it, I believe. Next is the Saints. I'm going to drop the Saints to a C. Even though they're coming off a win against Atlanta, it's just that division has been so bad, it's hard for me to put any team above a C right now. It's hard for me to put anybody above a C. And they've had struggles on both sides of the football. Giants, I'm going to put them in a B, a much, much needed win over the Commanders this past week to keep themselves alive in a playoff hunt. And Daniel Jones seems like he plays well against Washington. He just does. And Saquon's been playing some really good football. And that defense has been very good. Kayvon Thibodeau has been very good for that football team. So I'm going to put them in at B. Next is the New York Jets. I'm going to drop the Jets to a C. I didn't think I was going to do this, but they just haven't been the same team over the past couple of weeks. Defensively, they've had a little bit of struggles. Offensively, whether it's been Mike White or Zach Wilson, they just haven't been able to I want to say, put it all together. So I'm going to put them at a C. Philly, S tier. It's interesting to see what this Jalen Hurts injury is going to look like going into next week. But I firsthand viewed this team against the Bears, and offensively, it was crazy that they didn't really run the ball with Miles Sanders until midway through the second quarter. And it was just a crazy deal, but I still put this Eagles team at an S tier. They just out-talented the Bears at the end of the day. The Bears played them hard, but the Eagles out-talented them, and I'm going to put them in an S. Next is the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team is hard to grade, but I'm going to put them in a C. Much needed win against Carolina to keep themselves in it. So I'm going to put Pittsburgh at a C. Seattle has been on a downfall. Over the past couple of weeks. They go from a team that was right there in the NFC West contention, and they've played themselves out of it. And the 49ers are in the division champions. And it just seems like this team has been on a downslide. Where there's been some injuries to Kenneth Walker. It's just not been a very good team the last couple of weeks. 49ers, I'm going to put the 49ers on an S tier. It's crazy, but I ain't going to put the Niners in an S tier. No matter the quarterback play, that defense has been unbelievably good. And Brock Purdy hasn't looked like a guy that's just been thrown in as a Mr. Irrelevant last pick rookie. But this team is very, very dangerous. Tampa Bay, I can't put anybody in that division above a C. It's just not a good division at all. And the same with the Tennessee Titans. They've been on the slide along with the Bucks. I cannot put either one of those teams at anything above a C. Both Tom Brady and Randy Tannehill has been playing great. Defensively, both teams have had their struggles. So I'm going to put both teams in that same category. I'm going to put them at a C. And last but not least, the Washington Commanders. I'm going to drop them to a C as well. It's just they had chances to win that game, and they just did not live up to play very well. And they dropped themselves closer to being out of the playoffs. Even though Taylor Heineke is still the guy for them, just haven't been great. But, hey, these are my rankings for this week. Make sure you guys leave this video a like and continue to leave this video a like because it helps the channel to grow and it beats the algorithm. And if you guys support me, you will make sure you leave this video a like to help things grow around here. Comment you guys' thoughts down below. And if you are not sub, go ahead, click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss anything that I post. But I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next Sunday. Happy holidays, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.